Indian diplomatic cable about a win for AKD is a hoax. Ranil's favourability improves, surpassing Sajith. Why MPP is the target of intense mudslinging. SJB's scathing attack gets unleashed. A cash-strapped UNP concerns Ranil's campaigners. The family-run SJB is in a mess. It is Lucky, Jalani, Dulanjali only. Dulles, Dayasiri, Patali, Kiriella remain sidelined. Critics fuel the fire. Fight is on for the premiership too. Patali and GL vie for it under Sajith. It's either Johnny or Kutiarachchi for Namal. Ranil and AKD hide theirs.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Indian diplomatic cable about a win for AKD is a hoax. Opinion survey reports are getting released on a daily basis about the candidates' chances in the run-up to the presidential polls. The head of the Election Commission says they are mere promotions of candidates and asks the public not to base their decision on them. The Institute of Health Policy has now released its July slots polling figures. According to the IHP, AKD's net favourability rating rose 29 points from June to reach +3. President Ranil's favourability improved 40 points to -24, surpassing SJB's Sajith. Sajith's favourability rating changed little from -42 in June to -44 in July. For SLPP's Namal, the favourability rating stood at -63, says the IHP. Negative scores, that is, a net favourability rating of less than 0, means the subject is unpopular. Only positive scores, that is, net favourability is more than 0, mean the subject is popular on average, it says. To put it simply, it is going to be a very tight contest between AKD, Sajith and Ranil. In the meantime, there is a big dialogue about an Indian diplomatic cable that says AKD is set to win the election. A spokesperson for the Indian High Commission in Colombo debunked a social media report to that effect. We have seen reports circulating on social media attributed to the Indian High Commission. Such reports are unfounded and baseless, said the spokesperson. Nevertheless, the JVP-led NPP's leader remains the focus of the media. His policy manifesto, just released, is creating an enthusiastic interchange, with various posts doing the rounds. One quotes the JVP as saying that a household cannot own 2 vehicles after next Poya Day. But the policy document launched on the 26th says nothing like that. Another post claims AKD's cabinet composition. In a swift clarification, the NPP media unit scotched it, saying it will be a maximum of 25 cabinet ministers who are yet to be determined. Page 194 of the manifesto says there will be a similar number of deputy ministers, but no state ministers. Anyway, politicians, media heads and critics opposed to the NPP are concerned by the NPP's upsurge in popularity. Certain critics refer to the unending attacks by the bossy media in the hands of the VIP political camp against the NPP. They are creating an NPP phobia to prevent power from going to the non-elite camp. It is a victory for the masses and the NPP, said a university Donakan. In the meantime, Sajith's ever-ready mouthpiece, Marikar, launched a scathing attack on AKD at a media briefing. Saying the NPP is the same as the JVP, he referred to the performance of the 4 JVP ministers under the CBK rule.
චන්ද්‍රිකාගේ ආණ්ඩුවේ 76 වසර තුල තමයි අනුර කුමාර කුසිකර්ම ඇමති, ලාල්කාන්ත ග්‍රාමීය ආර්ථික ඇමති, විජිත හේර සංස්කෘතික ඇමති, චනසේන විජේසිංහ දීවර ඇමති. ලංකාවේ දිස්ත්‍රික්ක ගණනාවකින් මන්ත්‍රීවරු 39 දෙනෙක් JVP කට ජනතාව දුන්නා. හැම දිස්ත්‍රික්කකම පළවෙනි දෙවෙනියට ගෙනාව JVP කාර්යයන්ව. මොකද්ද කරේ? වැව් හැදුවෙත් නැහැ, සමූපකාර හැදුවෙත් නැහැ, මාළු ෆැක්ටරි හැදුවෙත් නැහැ. අනුරයි චන්ද්‍රසේනයි ලාලුයි විජිතයි අවුරුදු එකමාරෙන් ඇමතිකමෙන් පැනලා ගියේ ගෝඨාභය පැනලා ගියා වගේම තමයි.
Rajitha too has entered the game, issuing a warning to the expats against their expressed readiness to be present on election day to vote for AKD. If they vote for the NPP candidate, they should better stay here and face the consequences too, he told journalists at Sirikotha.
අවුරුදු එකමාරකින් බංකොලොත් රාජ්‍යයක් එළියට ආපු ලෝක ඉතිහාසයේ පළවෙනි රට තමයි ශ්‍රී ලංකාව. අන්න එතන තමයි රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහට තියෙන ලොකුම මෙඩල් එක. එයාට තියෙන ලොකුම දේ ඒක තමයි ජයග්‍රහණය. ඒක ගිය සැරේ දුන්න එක්කෙනෙකුට ජාතික ආරක්ෂාව මොනවා නැති වුණත් රටක් තියෙන්න ඕනයි කියලා දීලා රටම ඉවර කරගත්තා. ආපහු නැතිම කරගත්තේ රට. දැන් මේ සැරේත් එනවනේ. දැන් එන්න පුළුවන් දැන් ඡන්ද කිට්ටු වෙනකොට පිට රටේ ඉඳලා අපේ කට්ටියට. අපේ ඉම්පෝර්ටඩ් ශ්‍රී ලංකන් මහතුරු එන්න පුළුවන්. ඇවිල්ලා මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ අපිට තීන්දුව తీරන දීලා අපිට ඇඩ්වයිස් දීලා යනවා. ගියාම අපේ උන් කෙලව ගත්තාම අපේ උන් මහා පාරවල් වල ගෑස් ටැංකියටයි භූමි තෙල් ටිකටයි කෑම පැකට් එකටයි උන් ගිහිලා ආපහු ගෙවල් වල රැයට නිවුස් බල හෙල්ලවතින් හැපන් නෝගිය කිය විස්කි එකක් ගහලා රැයට බයිට් එකක් ගහලා උන් කාලා බීලා ආපහු බුදිය ගන්නවා. හැංගේ පැතේ මයිල් ගහකටවත් ඒක මේ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ අයියලට මම කියන්නේ ගිය සැරේ වගේ පොලිමේ එන්න එපා කටුනායක. ගිය සැරේ ආවේ ඇවිල්ලා කිව්වා අපි අතින් ටිකට් අරගෙන ආවේ. අපි ගෝඨාභය ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඡන්ද දෙන්න ගෝඨාභය මහත්තයාට ඡන්ද දෙන්න ආවේ. අපේ අතින් ටිකට් අරගෙන ආවේ. මොකක්වත් නෙවෙයි. මොනවා නැතුව රට තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ සැරේත් එයි රැට. මොනවා නැති වුණත් මේ රටේ මේ දූෂණය නැති වෙන්න ඕනේ. අපි මේ ටිකට් අරගෙන ආවේ අනුර සහෝදරයාට ඡන්ද දීලා යන්න. මේ සැරේත් ඇවිල්ලා තමුන්නාන්සලා අර ගිය සැරේ වගේම අපිට වැඩේ තියලා අපිට ඇරලා යන්න. එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් විදින්න තමුසලට පුළුවන් කකා බිබී ඉන්න. ඒකෙන්ද කරුණාකරලා මං කියන්නම්. එන මහත්තුරු මෙහෙ පදිංචි වෙන්න. එන මහත්තුරු මෙහෙ පදිංචි වෙන්න. මෙහෙ පදිංචි වෙලා ඒ ඛේද වාචකයට මුහුණ දෙන්න. දිනවල. එච්චරයි. අපිත් එක්කම එකට පොලිමේ හිට ගන්නවා තමුසලා. ආපහු මෙතන ඉඳලා එහෙ යන්න එපා. හොඳේ?
Despite all these condemnations, AKD's posters and cutouts are on display throughout the country. He has offices at every polling division, and house-to-house visits have been taking place for several months now. Furthermore, his rallies are drawing huge crowds to create a sense of victory. These days, he specifically targets the floating votes. Sajith's SJB comes next with similar tactics. Some in Ranil's camp are unconcerned about an imminent election. They are waiting for him to send money for canvassing, posters and offices. Its regional leaders ask his inner circle members to bring out the many millions they had amassed in the past 2 years by way of commissions. Some among them even allege the former SLPers now with him are getting all the funds, while they get nothing. A top man at Sirikotha has given up everything and left for good. Some say it was a play act only. Anyway, the team from the SLPP now supporting him are an untiring lot, very busy on the ground to garner preferential votes for them at a general election, rather than supporting Ranil to win. Patali, too, is concerned by AKD's increasing popularity. A majority of organisers in both parties are now saying that Ranil and Sajith should have to reach some sort of understanding to prevent AKD from winning. Rajitha says the telephone should take a call to the gas cylinder. At the Sirikota media briefing, he endorsed Thalitha's call for unity between Ranil and Sajith, saying it could have been the best thing to do for the country. He said, however, Sajith refused to do so. The SJB has supporters who still believe Sajith could win and are reluctant to ally with Ranil, he claimed. However, there are some who will extend their support to the president as the campaign progresses, he added. Whatever is said in opinion poll reports, it is the voters who decide on the 21st of September. Anyway, those reports could be influential in the matter of floating votes. Brainwashing is bound to intensify as the time nears. The family-run SJB is in a mess. In the meantime, internal rifts in the SJB are said to be getting worse by the day. Even Sajith's close confidants are apprehensive about the inclusion of Lucky and his family in campaigning. Some say things have now worsened for Sajith, who is already exhausted by the opposition to Lucky. Media reports to that effect are appearing in a big way too. Minister Prasanna says the SJB is now under a family rule. It is run not by Sajith, but by his wife Jalani and businessman Lucky. His sister too is now involved, says Prasanna. Vote for Ranil to save the country from the curse of family rule, he said at a meeting in Minuwangoda on the 26th. Just days have gone by since Ranil claimed to have the best team. The SJB is taking this up in a big way. Its seniors say that unlike the thieves who are with Ranil, their boss has the superb set of Harsha, Iran and Kabir to revive the economy. But none of them are allowed to go up the ladder, with a handful getting all the opportunities, they complain. Kiriella, Dulles, Patali, Charitha and Dayasiri are not made use of. Even GL is worried by that, they continue. Lucky has got wind of what is being said about him, and the result is that there is a proposal to promote a new team. Some have already decided to close shop and await developments in a worst-case scenario. Critics are making things all the more difficult by taking jabs at the SJB. The picture they paint about Sajith is that of a man who opposes dissent, authoritarian by nature, and is a "it's only me" personality. SJB alliance affiliates should think twice before supporting him for the presidency without wasting any more time, they say. With all these things happening, it is not surprising that the NPP returns the best gains. Fight is on for the premiership too. There is talk about the next Prime Minister too. The Lanka e-news website is highlighting it in an article by Sathi Panawena. The presidential race has 39 competitors, but it is basically a three-horse race between AKD, Sajith and Ranil. Namal and Dilith try their best to get into that pack. Sajith was quite competitive a couple of weeks ago. What with the internal rifts in the SJB and the organisational failures, he looks out of contention now. A certain media network that bats for him creates things to show to the contrary. The tug-of-war between his finance minister, hopefuls Harsha and Godahiwa, is putting off the launch of the policy manifesto. Now, a key topic is who will be the PM under the leading contenders. For the NPP, which is yet to make anything official, social media indicates Dr. Harini will get that opportunity. If the party goes public with that woman of intellect, it could further establish its hold on politics. It is said Ravi K will be Ranil's PM, but he himself denies it. Sources close to Ranil say he plans to retain Dinesh. For the time being, Ranil says the position will go to the party that wins the highest seats at the general election. Then, who will it be for Sajith? Patali, who joined him belatedly, had speculation going through his media secretary that Sajith is president, Patali is PM. That led to further trouble within the SJB. So Patali took a step backward and said it had happened unknown to him. Indications are that GL will most likely be the choice, but Madhuma Bandara is eyeing it too. According to the Len report, Kutiarachchi could be the PM under Namal, or else Johnny. About the rest, it is better not to comment. Even Namal is in the race to make up appearances for the SLPP. This is just not a presidential election. It is also an election to decide if the old set of 225 will be elected to power for another 5 years in 3 more months' time. As the leader has been saying, the upcoming election comes in the wake of a decisive turnaround in politics and a gravest of national collapses. So, the political map is bound to change. Failure by the voters to decide correctly will take the country back to anarchy. It is theirs to decide and to decide correctly. That's it for today.
The Leader. දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම